Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go.
It's crazy how fast I can go from judging myself very harshly for my past, for not making the changes I needed to sooner, for not leaving the people or things that my intuition was telling me to do, for not taking action more quickly, right? I'm so judgmental of my past self. And then when I process, when I rest, when I reset my nervous system, suddenly I'm able to see, oh my God, I actually did that really fast. Actually, that was a quantum leap. Actually, I healed generations of trauma in 2 years, right? Actually, I did the impossible in 4 months in my business. And let's talk about this, just the time warp that entrepreneurship is and how I feel like it holds so many women back from succeeding online. So I'm having a conversation with a client. Similarly, I've had several conversations like this with clients where they get discouraged when people in their life, whether it's a friend or a partner or their mom or whoever, wants to keep them safe and really encourages them, hey, don't quit your job. Entrepreneurship is really hard. Don't launch that product. It's really hard to do group coaching or whatever. And what's interesting is I always tell my clients what they're saying is true. It is hard to start a business, but it's also hard to be in a day job where you're unaligned with the values. It's also hard to be in a day job when you're a really ambitious woman and you're really playing it small, right? So I think both things are true. What we do is impossible and it's totally possible, right? Because we have the gumption, because we have the experience, because we have the desire. And so I just want to talk about this duality of perception, because I think the difference is paramount. The difference is paramount. And let's dive in. Okay, so let's talk about this first one just more. I want to spend most of my time here because I think so many women come to me. I would say over half of my clients that are new clients or even existing clients and have this mindset of like, I'm behind, right? I have clients who have this mindset that haven't made any money yet. And I have clients who have this mindset that are literally making $700,000 a year. So the thing is, I do think this is a mindset challenge more so than it is grounded in reality. Number one, because objectively, there is no such thing as behind. Because as humans, what is the goal between when we're born and when we die, right? It is a very subjective thing based on the culture you grew up in, the country you grew up in, the state you grew up in, right? Like the religion you grew up in. What constitutes success as a human and even a business? It really goes person to person. And this is why I think it's so important. I encourage you to think through what's your happy, boring dream life, right? For me, when I was starting in my business, I really defined success as like $76,000 a year and working with people that were kind and respected my boundaries. I was pretty open as to like who, and I wasn't even charging wild rates because I really felt like my standards were low. And I think when women come in and they're like, I want to make six figures in 1 month, and then if I don't, I'm going to make myself wrong and say there's something wrong with me, that's where it starts to get really trippy, right? Instead of having, quote, realistic goals and baby stepping yourself up, right? If your goal is to make $30,000 a month, and right now you're making $3,000 a month, make your next goal $5,000 a month, because it's that stepping stone. I do this all the time with my clients when they have either not just big goals, but even like big actions they're trying to take in their business. Make it smaller for yourself, right? I've had clients where, attending conferences is a big part of their strategy. And so before they get speaking gigs at the conference, the goal is just to attend the conference, right? And just to get comfortable being in a room where maybe you're intimidated by people. If your goal is to post reels on social media and you're not posting any right now, post a reel, keep it up for 10 seconds and then delete it. And I know this stuff sounds silly, but it works, right? Which is making things easier on ourselves instead of more difficult. This whole conversation about being behind, comparison, comparing our path, judging our past self, right? Taking the person that we are today with our experience and our expertise and our values and our evolution and projecting it on our past self is something I do all the time that I shouldn't do, right? Who I was at like 18, at 22, even 6 months ago is a different woman than who I am today. And so I can really not judge my past self with my current eyes. I also think this is a great marketing hack in that a lot of times we speak to our potential clients, the people that have not yet paid us money, the people that have not yet transformed in the way that we have or our clients have, and we talk to them as if they are not like, quote, at our level, because they're not like insuperior or anything like that, but like they're in a different place. And it's safe for you to access and market to people in a different way than maybe you would talk to someone who's a friend or a peer, right? Like it's okay that maybe your marketing is a little bit boring to you because it's talking to the outcomes or the things they want because they're not at the evolution you are at right now. Right? It's okay to embrace that we change over time. Our potential clients are going to change with us, and it's okay to approach them where they're at. Okay, so back to this concept of the time warp. Is real practical example that I saw this in my business was like times where it felt like it was taking a really long time to do something. Like I remember at the very start of my business, I committed to sticking to the same message for 90 days. My coach asked me to do that, Lacey, and that seemed like an impossible task because I'm an ENFP, Enneagram 7. I was putting out 1,000 freebies a minute. I was changing my message, and it really felt like that was the most like efficient, productive thing to do is have variety and not leave anyone out and not have FOMO. And I was really making my marketing more about me in a way than my potential client, right? And so I took the challenge to like, okay, fine, I'll show up with the same message and be bored of myself for 90 days. And it really worked, right? And in hindsight, I'm like, Anna, it was 3 months. But when you are posting a very similar thing on social media for 90 days, instead of following the whim of your emotion, it can be very long and tedious, right? I remember the same thing when I was going to fill my one-on-one practice. I was having several different offers and I was like, oh, I just really want to get good at this one offer. So for about 4 months, I talked about one offer and just sold one thing in my business. And I was able to sell out my one-on-one and build a wait list. But I only did it because I had that fierce focus and I really allowed myself to be bored in that way. And in the moment, it felt like an eternity, right? But looking back, I'm like, okay, and it's not bad. Like you really didn't have very much experience selling and you really sold out your program while you were pregnant in 4 months. That's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? I had the same experience. So my birthday was yesterday. Yay, I turned 38. It was such a nice, chill day. Got to spend some time dancing, got to spend time going out and eating sushi with my family. It was just a really beautiful day. But I spent some time reflecting this morning. Some of my friends got me candles. So I put all my flowers that people got me out. I put all my candles out. And I just really had a moment of thinking through like where I was 7 or 8 years ago, right? In a relationship that was really unhealthy, taking a risk to move really 13 hours away, moving in with my parents, really leaving my old life and like 90% of my belongings behind, just taking a few boxes with me, really starting from scratch. And, you know, most of the time, I'm telling my coach and therapist, I'm so mad at myself that it took me so long to make that decision. And then even after I made that decision, it was really like a 7-year transition of letting go and setting boundaries. And like, it really was a significant chapter of my life, right? But as I was sitting there eating my oatmeal, it's my favorite breakfast, drinking my tea that my friend got me. It's actually a really fun tea. I've never seen these, but it's like, it looks like a flower, but you drop it in and then it dissolves into tea. So you don't even have to deal with a tea bag. Isn't that amazing? But I was drinking my tea and I was just thinking, wow, Anna, that was really fast. Like to leave something that was so challenging and convoluted and because of, you know, the
standards in your family and in your religion that you were trying to uphold and that you were trying to take care of everyone and do things well and honor the commitments that you made in your life. Like, you really did that pretty fast. Here you are at 38. You have your whole life ahead of you, and you really did that season with a lot of integrity. That sentence I would not have been able to say for the past 8 years, right? The sentence that I was saying was like, oh my God, 8 years, Anna, like how much time did you waste because you weren't brave, because you weren't strong enough, because you didn't trust your intuition, because you self-abandoned? Look at what you did, and there are some parts of me that honestly still feel that way. But I really think that when I am in the right mindset, when I am calm and cared for and happy, like on my birthday, I'm able to really see like, wow, Anna, you quantum leaped and changed the trajectory of your family and your kids' lives. And you beat the odds, and you really created a business and supported yourself financially so that you could really thrive as a single mama. Like, you did it. You did it, Anna. And you did it at the exact timeline you needed to. It didn't need to be done any faster or any slower. You did what you needed to, and it took you as long as it needed to take. I want you to rewind those last 30 seconds, and I want you to apply those to your business right now. I know it's a different circumstance, but really believing that whatever it was that maybe it took you, I have some clients, every client of mine struggles with a different thing in their business based on like experience and trauma and, expertise, right? Some of my clients are really good at getting visible. That's super easy for them, right? For me, it was pretty easy to get visible in some ways because I have an acting background, right? I also had like a really professional therapy career. So I had like a lot of mental blocks around like, am I allowed to show my face? Am I allowed to share about myself? Is that unethical? Are they going to take my license away? All that stuff, right? But I really struggled a lot more with selling, and really like I grew up so service oriented, like charging for serving and for loving and for caring. That was huge for me, right? Some of my clients, it's the opposite. They have no problem selling. They can sell to their blue, right? But they have a problem like delegating and trusting to team. So what I'm saying is we're all going to have a different challenge area in business. Some of my clients, it takes them a year to really make some shifts and get started. But once they do, oh my gosh, like 10K, 20K months. Some of my other clients, right? Like the first client comes really quickly, but then they kind of panic as they're receiving abundance, receiving success. Oh my God, is this too good to be true? Kind of like fear of success and self-sabotaging. Am I allowed to be happy? Am I allowed to make money doing things I love? And then it's a little bit harder to sign those next few clients, right? Because it's almost like, was that a fluke? And I see my clients do this. Either way, we're so mean to ourselves. If it takes us a little while to meet a goal, we're so mean to ourselves and we're like, oh, I'm so stupid. I should have done that sooner. If we do meet the goal, we're like, oh, that was luck. Oh, that was a fluke. Oh, that was because, I got that referral from so-and-so, so it doesn't count. Well, why did you get the referral? Because you did good work for them and they enjoyed working with you, right? Like, we give ourselves a hard time at every single angle. And I just think this is such an important thing to watch. So really, as we look back, right, as we make sense of our past, because that really shapes our current circumstance, right? Telling yourself that thing that I'm so judgmental on myself for getting to that and all these metrics in business they're just, someone made them up, right? There's no one that says that you have to be making 6 figures by your first year. I remember I made $96,000 my first year and I was so upset. Such a baby, right? I should have been so thrilled, right? Instead, I was like, oh, I didn't hit my 6 figures in the first year of business. Anna, you're fine. $96,000. Can you be proud of yourself, right? And I think where do we even get these metrics from, right? We shouldn't. What we should celebrate is, number one, our progress. Are we progressing? If I see my client progressing, are you making more money than you did the month before? Right? Or the quarter before. Sometimes things are up and down month to month. Are you increasing over time in general, right? Are you making your business easier? Are you shrinking your work hours, right?
really ignoring everyone else in the yoga classroom, focusing on your yoga mat and doing your very best practice every day. That comes from focusing on our progress. It also comes from focusing on our actions. That's why I'm obsessed with my pixel trackers that I've been working on, right? How can we focus on the actions like selling or visibility or money mindset that we know are going to get us to our big money goals? And how do we let go of the things that we cannot control? We can control sending the email, posting on social media. We can't always control how many people see the email, how many people see the social post. Obviously, we can work on more compelling hooks and better subject lines. But in general, some of that we can't control. But what we can control is how consistent we are with our actions. And we are going to be way more consistent when we don't tell ourselves the story that I'm behind, that there's something wrong with me, that I should have done that faster, that I'm a bad business owner because I have a loan or debt, because I hired someone and they weren't a great fit, so I had to fire them. All of this stuff in business is normal. Okay? Say this out loud. One of the business biggest hacks and benefits I feel like I have as a business coach is I see everyone's behind the scenes business and I know all this stuff is so normal, right? But if you're not in a mastermind with other business women, there's the perception that everything is perfect, right? Just like life, we know nothing is perfect, right? But really being it's totally great that I have these things, right? Whether I have these micro failures or have this challenge but don't let that stop you from continuing to move forward. Okay, I want you to write these 2 things down. Number 1, how can I focus more on my progress? How do we do this? By actually tracking some of our metrics, right? That's why I'm a big fan of doing the daily check-in and writing down your wins every day, right? I'm a big fan of looking at your money every month or every week, whatever cadence you need to do, right? And really not being judgmental if we're not meeting our goals, but getting curious, right? If you've done my CEO assessment, I like to say, not like Anna has a problem, but like Anna's business has a challenge. How can I objectively, non-emotionally solve this challenge, right? How can I really go after this with my coach and get creative on solving this problem for lead generation or audience growth? But how do I not make myself wrong for it? And how do I not beat myself up? Or what stories am I telling myself about how long it's taking me to get there? Okay, so how do I focus on my wins and then also thinking through what are the actions that I can what's within my control that I can actually focus on that's going to get me towards my goal, right? If I'm trying to be healthier, how do I make sure that I'm doing some form of movement every single day? Right? And let go of the scale, let go of some of the, obviously I'm not a health coach, so do what your health coach is. But how do I let go of some of the metrics a little bit? I really focus much less on my income goal for the month and much more on, I set my income goal, but then I backtrack and make tiny goals for myself, how much I need to be selling. And then I focus on that. And if I do my metrics, if I got visible, if I sold, I just let the rest be, and really focus on that part of it. And as we wrap up, I really think business is like dog years in the sense of when we're in something, number 1, that's hard. Number 2, that we're passionate about. Number 2, that is a source of stability and survival for our family. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of emotional charge there. Do I need to say those things again, right? That's a lot. It's not just our business. And that's why I think it's so important to not make our business our everything, to have passions and hobbies outside of business, right? When needed, take a day job, right? We expect our business to be so many things, that nothing else. It's almost our partners, of course, we want our partner to bring us happiness, but we don't expect our partner to be our sole happiness, right? And I think sometimes we have these expectations on our business that it's just everything for us, that it's going to always make us happy and always provide money for us and always blah, 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 blah. Right? And the truth is that I think sometimes we need to bring some of these things to our business. We need to bring money to be able to invest into our business. We need to bring happiness to solve problems in our business, right? But because of all these factors, I think business can feel really emotionally intense. And when something's emotionally intense, I think we experience it longer. I always think about these moments in life that almost it feels like time slows, or I think business is like that, where it can feel not emotionally torturous, but just a time warp, right? We're in it. When we're in it, it feels worse than it is and it feels longer than it is. And I think in hindsight, we're like, wow, even though I had challenges in that launch, I really did great. Right? Wow, even though there was hard things in business, I'm really grateful for how much I made that year. And that's why I encourage my clients to do the 10 wins of the year exercise, because you're able to see, business is a nonstop, thing. There's no end until we close our business or die, right? And so because of that, I think we have to take these markers to be like, no, actually, I did do a great job. I made this money. I did that freedom for my family. I made that impact. And really seeing the good and really being grateful and really giving ourselves credit for like, actually, I took the time I needed to. Actually, I'm proud of what I did. And again, looking at your version of success. My version of success now is $300,000 a year on a 3-day work week. That's my version of success. And getting clear on your version of success and your core values is so important. Your version of a happy, boring dream life. Otherwise, there's not even a bar, number one, to work towards, but number two, to be comparing ourselves against. Otherwise, we're comparing ourselves against other people that we don't even really want to be. And we don't even really want their lives, but we're like comparing ourselves to them. Why do we do that? Just stop that. Right? And so maybe even taking out a piece of paper and writing down my happy, boring dream life. For me, that means having so much time. My kids are still small, 9 and 11. So it means creating a pretty stable life for them here, not traveling a ton, because I really want them to have some stability here. Not that it's bad to travel, right? But I want them to have their sports, their basketball, their jujitsu, right? Like I want them to do the things that light them up, and I want to do the things that light me up too. I want to go to my dance classes. I want to go to yoga a million times a week, right? For me, that is success. And I think when you've been through something hard or traumatizing or very difficult, like I have, you just want peace. Like you just want a boring life. Like you don't want hullabaloo. You just want a quiet home. You want comfort. You want peace. You want passion. You want sweet friendships. As a heart-centered entrepreneur, like you don't want much. You want 300K on a 3-day work week, right? And I think it's remembering that, right? Like it's absolutely doable and accessible for you, and it's safe for you to do it in your way on your own time frame, right? I know people compare themselves to me because they're like, well, if Anna can do it and she's a single mom and she could do it this quickly and blah, blah, blah. But I don't want you to compare yourself to me in that way. I hope that I'm like an expander for you and showing you what's possible. But I also think that part of the reason I did it so quickly is because I had to. Like I was surviving. Like I was the sole breadwinner for my kids. So I kind of had to like get shiz together. And I think that really helped me not overthink and really helped me keep a easy, strong mindset, I think in other ways, I have a lot of disadvantages, but I also have a lot of advantages. I have 2 parents that love me, that I live next to, right? I have a babysitter that is like family to us and is just a godsend. She is just a divine blessing for my house and for my kids. So I really have so much help with my kids in a way that a lot of married moms don't, right? And so I just want to encourage you that like we all have a different hand of cards, for better or for worse. And we cannot always control the cards we are dealt. I think we can more than I thought that we could. But some cards, maybe it's a chronic illness. Maybe it's just a personal challenge that you're facing, right? Maybe it's a mental health diagnosis or disorder, right? I really want to encourage you to, again, not compare yourself, but really look at the hand of cards you have, make peace with your past in business and in life, and really move forward on your own track, right? That's the fastest way to go. I want to challenge you as we end this with an affirmation that you're going to hate. You're going to hate it, but I want you to try it this week. Just try it on for size, right? Like I tell my kids, if you hate it, you don't have to do it again, but at least give it a try. Like just give it a try, right? I talked to this with my clients too about like hiring a housekeeper. Like just hire someone once, and if you hate it, then you don't have to do it again. And then of course you love it, right? Okay. The affirmation I want you to try, I can't even get it out, is, wow, I did that so fast. With something in your business that you feel like took forever, right? Another one I want you to try is, wow, that was a success. something in your business that maybe didn't feel like such a success to you, right? Maybe you went to launch a group program for your first round. You went to go sign 8 people into it and you only signed 3 people into it. For me, I'm like, that's a success because now the program's established and then you can get 8 people next time, right? Like as your coach, I'm always seeing everything that you're doing with strong intention as a success, either because it was successful or because you have data to know for the next time, right? But I really want you to try these 2 affirmations. Wow, that was fast, right? Wow, that was a success. Over something in your life that you are categorizing as slow or unsuccessful. Just try it. Just try it. Like if you like a challenge, right? Like, and then I even ask yourself, how could I frame that as a success, right? Maybe you are trying to work out more and you were going to go to yoga in the morning and you got really tired and you didn't end up going to yoga. How is that a success? Well, maybe you didn't go, but maybe you thought about it a little more than you did before, right? And maybe you even wiggled your feet and you wiggled your toes. Like, did you get a little closer? Did you learn a lesson, right? How can we see things as successful? How do we see things as fast? Like considering the circumstances, considering what I've been through, considering what I'm carrying, that was really quick. And I'm proud of myself. I couldn't have done it any other way. I was showing up as the best I could in the circumstances I had, and that was really fast. And you know what? Next time I'm going to be even faster. Okay. Let me know via email if you'd like how these 2 affirmations feel, if you're challenging yourself to apply them this week with the idea that as you start being kind to yourself, you're just going to move even faster. You're going to be even more successful. We like to tell ourselves that like beating ourselves into a pulp is the fastest way to go. It's really not. It's really kindness. I see this because when I coach my clients, I start giving them this really kind, accepting, non-judgmental energy. And they start to flourish. And it kind of is me, but it isn't really fully all me. Spoiler alert, it's just kind energy. So if you start applying some of that kind energy to yourself right now, even before I'm coaching you, you're going to start to feel the effects of it. Have you ever noticed after you're hanging out with a friend or a therapist or a coach, you're like, I feel really good. Like I don't even quite know what I said in that hour, but I feel really good and I feel really like clear and excited to take action. It's probably because they were kind to you. It's probably because they were non-judgmental. And what are we in our head all the time? We are unkind and we're very judgmental. So this is an amazing self-coaching hack and will save you a lot of money, right? Even if you do have a coach, so that your coach can work with you on other things. Okay, sending you the biggest hug.
Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.